everybody, and welcome to another Project Egg interview. Today, we're talking to Adil Mafhoum from Morocco. Adil, how you doing today?
I'm good. And you? How are you?
Good, man. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for jumping on the interview today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me in the interview.
Absolutely. All right, let's jump in. Adil, my
Okay.
first question for you is,
hmm
what is your story?
Oh, my story. Do I start when I was born or a specific age?
Sure, whatever is most meaningful to you.
Yeah, let's talk about my entrepreneurial story. I think as well, speaking to entrepreneur, I think it's more interesting.
Sure.
Um, my entrepreneurial journey started at the age of 23. Uh, I have started a magazine dedicated to alternative music and rock and heavy metal and stuff. It was a big fail. Like I lost a lot of money. I spent almost 2 years working on it, and I was broke right after that because sponsor didn't want to follow, advertiser didn't want to follow, so I had no cash flow. I finished all the money, and I didn't have how to continue to pay the team and stuff. And after that, I jumped into marketing. I had a marketing agency in Morocco, in Casablanca. I was doing good until last year, because at the same time I've been traveling. Like as I started having a good business and stuff, I start traveling like every year. I go 2 months to somewhere, or 3 months every year. I travel to some like Thailand, Brazil, and Europe. And last year I decided that I I didn't want to have an office and to go there and work every day, even if I had a very comfortable situation. But I wanted more freedom. I want to have the ability to work from anywhere in the world, to be able to travel, to have the like Tim Ferriss say, the new rich, having mobility and time. I cannot work 3 days and work the third day, but work like a crazy in a Starbucks cafe or something like that. So, last year I made a decision that was very hard. Like I shut down my business back in Casablanca. I fired all my clients, and I stopped taking new clients. I had many people asking me, like I was able to make very good money, but I said no. And I spent like 3 months just digging more into internet marketing, digging more into e-commerce, Amazon FBA, Shopify, and things like that. I was already making some money online. Like I started on, it was like a hobby since 2011. But last year I took this seriously, like a real business. And I spent 3 months, and my business online starts growing. Then I moved to Brazil. After that, I moved to Brazil, and yeah, and now I'm happy with what I'm doing. Like, like I can travel. I can be in a. I've been living in an island like 2 months, like like living in an island and working 3 4 hours, taking care of the business. If you don't want to live in the island, you go to a big city like Sao Paulo. If you don't like, you go to Colombia. It took me a lot of work, and now it's the results, and I like it. Yeah.
That's incredible, man. That's a great story. So,
But it was very hard. Like the period where when I shut down my business, I had no money. I was almost broke, and I refused to take new clients, because if I take the first client and keep my business rolling, I will enjoy the fact that I'm making money, and maybe I will stay more, and I won't take the step to start a digital nomad lifestyle. So I was with no money. I had to make money online or nothing. And many people was doubting my decision. Many people thought, like in the business area in Casablanca, people were starting saying something like, Adil lost his mind. He have a big agency. He's making good money, and he shut it down. What's wrong with him? And now here I am. I'm working online. I'm making like 10 times more what I was making while having the freedom and enjoying my life. It was a sacrifice, but worth it.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. So, I kind of want to dig a little bit more into your past and really understand where you
hmm
came from. So, you said at 23, you started a magazine.
hmm
Um, could you maybe give some insight on what you had done up to that point and why you started that magazine?
Before the magazine, when I was 19 years old, I started an online magazine and also a forum, a big community of like 5,000 people or something like that. And it was the biggest online magazine dedicated to rock music in North Africa. Like it was quite famous in this because there was not a lot of websites dedicated to rock and stuff. It was in 2003, 2002, 2003, and year after year I was thinking, and the community was requesting to make this like a real magazine, a paper edition of the magazine, like something people can go and buy. And so yeah, I decided with the team we worked on that. We made a paper version, but it was a lot of work. It was a lot of responsibilities. You have to. It was very costly to print it and everything. And I had almost no money. I come from a very, very average family, not, you know. So it was quite hard. So I wasn't able to continue the adventure. It took me just 1 year and a half or 2 years, and then we shut down the magazine. And I spent 6 months digging what kind of new business to start. Then I started email marketing, and it worked. And then I grew this business.
So,
And
from an early age, it seems like you kind of had an entrepreneurial bug, if you will. It seemed like you were very entrepreneurial minded. Did at any point in your life did you ever think that going through a system of formal education was for you, or did you kind of just jump right into starting your own thing?
I never been. I'm always saying that formal education it's just like formatting people, and it's like making a robot. You don't think for yourself. I prefer far away that I was for me it was education. It was like just to learn, for example, English because it's useful. I can communicate with the world. To learn French because it's useful. I can communicate with a part of the world. To learn some geography, maybe to know the countries I might visit later. But the majority of things they were teaching us, I was interested, and I was very bad at school. Like, uh, it was very hard for me to get the equivalent of, I don't know, in the American system. The what is the average, the medium?
C. Uh,
C.
C is the average.
It was very big pain to get this C. Like I was getting only F or X if it exists.
So then you went from barely making C's to now
Yeah.
you're making a really good living for yourself and you have the freedom to travel the world. That's incredible
Yeah,
to me.
and I remember even before after high school when I went to the equivalent of the college, I think, where you study 3 years to have a diploma. I went there and people were studying like crazy and things, and I was the lazy one. But it was journalism. I was studying journalism. I was always the late one to come, but I was starting my online web magazine at the same time, at my way of doing things. I was just learning the important things that I can implement, and there was not a lot because it's more oriented TV and stuff. And yeah, and after like some people in this, yeah, yeah, I mean it's yeah, I've never been very fan of formal education.
And
Yeah.
and to be sure, I think I would speak for both of us when I say that we're not trying to knock formal education. Like we're not saying it's
No, no,
bad
no.
or
You
it's
know,
for some people. It is for some people.
formal education is very important if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be an architect, if you want to be an attorney, or it's very useful. But for starting a business, it's not really that useful. I think that's my point of view. You have to go to the battlefield and see how it works and try and fail, because formal education is a lot of theory, but nothing practical
I agree.
for entrepreneurship. If you want to be a doctor, you have to go to school. You have to. If you want to be an architect, you really have to go. It's a must, and it
But
depends of what people want to do in their lives.
right, right. Um, Now, when you were saying that for starting a business,
Hmm.
formal education is not very practical. At some point, you do need to learn something. You need to learn how to do it. You need to learn how to run your business. You need to learn how to deal with clients and all these different things.
Hmm.
Where did you find that source of knowledge or that source of wisdom?
Everything is available on Google. You want to even make your own car, you can make your own car. Just some dedication and you work on it every day and you learn every day and try and fail. There is everything available on Google. How to and what do you want to learn? Then you can go to YouTube. There is a lot of things. And then later you can invest in yourself. Like I've been spending thousands of dollars and learning from some big mentors. You can do that at certain level when you start having some income from what you learn on YouTube, Google, and free stuff. Then you can invest in yourself, and you go and you enroll in some big programs and stuff, and you learn more. Because the more you learn, the better it is. You have to be learning every day. That's the way I see things, especially in what we do in online business. Things change every day. You have to. It's a continuous learning. If you take like two week and 2 months vacation and you come back to the business, many things will have changed. It's changing all the time.
Right. So it is, like you said, it's so important to continue learning. Um,
Continue.
Now, you talked a little bit about mentors
Mm-hmm.
and how important mentors are. Could you
Mm-hmm.
point to a few people in your life who have been impactful mentors?
Yeah, I've been following uh, oh, Eben Pagan have been a very big help with his programs. Wake Up Productive. It was a life changing program. Who else? Gary Vaynerchuk. Even if I discovered him just last year, but I think it's more Eben Pagan. Brian Tracy have some very good programs, and John Rees. I don't know if you know about him. I think those three were very important in my business, in my way of seeing business, the way I do the processes and things. Yeah.
Right, right. And not only mentors, but you also mentioned trying and failing, which is
Yeah.
basically experimenting, which is basically getting out in the field and seeing if you can do it and just getting started. I mean, I feel like so many people hesitate to take that first step because they think about what would happen if they fail.
They are afraid from the judgment of the people. I've noticed that many people I'm working with, and when we start and we speak about that, and they say, "Listen, I'm ready to jump, but I'm scared. What people gonna say about me if I fail?" But this is not something comes you go with certainty. It's gonna work. If it was it like that, it's gonna work. Everyone gonna make it work. Everyone gonna be millionaire with Porsche and Ferraris around. But no, it's not like that. You have to try. Like the period I spent last year before when I shut down my business and start experimenting, trying to make works, online business things. I've been trying a lot of things, and nothing worked. Like sometime you feel like quieten, then you try it second day, another thing, then sometimes you have just a little tweak to add and it changes everything. And you are one tweak away from cracking the code of making a good business working and making a good living with it. You have to be trying and failing.
Absolutely.
But
And I'm
just a steps, every time I fail, I see it like, oh, a new step. You learn and you move forward. It's the way it works.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Was in fact, it's not only should you not be afraid of failure, but I think you should actually welcome failure. You should try to fail as many times as you possibly can and learn as much as you possibly can
Sure.
early on so that you can learn how to succeed. You can't
Yeah.
win unless you know how to lose.
Yeah, exact. It's a part of the process, you have to fail to gather the data, to gather information. When you are failing, you are gathering information and knowing how to recalibrate what you are doing. You have to fail. It's important, I
Absolutely.
think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What would you say, getting a little bit more back into your life,
hmm
what would you say was the most important thing that you've learned from the magazine failure in your 20s?
From the magazine, yeah, the biggest thing I've learned, the biggest lesson is that never, ever go the way that you have to invest a lot of money into something. Because I was investing a lot of money with not being sure that it's gonna work. And it was the biggest lesson. It was the biggest lesson. Since then, everything I start, I try to lower the cost at the maximum. Like after I've started email marketing, I have very little expenses. Know what I'm doing. I'm reducing the expenses. Anything I do, I try to reduce the expenses. It was the biggest lesson. This.
Right, right.
Because time
That's really
people
important.
start a business, they don't have enough funds, they don't have enough money, and then try to start big. And when they get hit, they get broke. And some people don't stand again. It depends. It was very hard, really, and it was. I learned the lesson the very hard way. Especially when you are just starting, you have to minimize the cost. Even you start in e-commerce, you are doing advertisement, start with small campaign and see what's happening, then scale slowly. Never go crazy unless you
Absolutely.
unless you have some millions in your bank account, then do whatever you want.
Right. Now, moving on from the magazine, you said you kind of shopped around for 6 months, I believe, and then you found out that email marketing, you had some level of success with that. Could you maybe go into how you recognized that success and kind of how you took that to turn it into a full-time agency?
Yeah, well, it's how it happened is quite crazy because in Morocco, email marketing was not really developed in this period of time. It was like 2003. There was only one agency offering emailing service, and it was very expensive. And I had some knowledge with doing emailing and stuff, as I had the online magazine, and I gathered some. I've learned how it worked for SMTP and stuff like that. I had some basic knowledge. So what I did, I was looking for some robot together. It's not something very good. I'm not very proud of, but it saved me. I've been, and at this period of time, it was very okay. No, it's not. I found some robot that gathered the email address from specific niche in Morocco, from the CEOs of companies, and I gathered emails from CEOs of companies. I gathered like 100,000 or something, and I blasted them all with an offer. It was just try, and I was with no money, nothing to do. It was like, it may work, it might not work, but I tried. There was only one competitor doing this. He was expensive. It was my last chance, at least in this period, because I was really broke. I really broke. Like I was living in a very teeny apartment, if we can call this apartment, and It was a hard period. So I did this. I blasted this 100,000 emails or something like that. And second day, I'm getting calls from BMW, from another big companies asking me for a quote and stuff like that. I went, I met them, and I had my first clients. And then I started scaling everything. It started like that. Like I
So,
was.
so what when you emailed all of those people, what
Mhm.
is it that you said in the email? What were you trying to offer them?
It was very different from now, because now if you send the same email, no one gonna answer you. It was people were not receiving a lot of emails in their inbox. There was no spamming. Like you send, there is one or two emails that go to spam. Not like right now, you go check your spam, you find like dozens of emails that come every day. It was very early stage. So I was lucky enough. If it happened right now, it won't work. But in my email, it was an offer like we offer email marketing, 10,000 emails, very highly targeted at this price, 100,000 email highly targeted at this price. And I kept tweaking with the time. Each time I send a mailing to I do a new campaign. I see the data and what feedback I get, and I keep on tweaking it. And that was the start of my agency. It started like that.
That's
It
awesome.
was it came like people around me, my family were saying to me, "Hey, go look for a job. Entrepreneurship is hard and things like that." It was very a sad period for me, because the magazine was it was impossible to continue the magazine. I had a lot of debt to pay, and I was looking for what to do to save the situation, and this happened at the right time. Yeah.
And so once you started, what was your niche? What was your kind of bread and butter? Like what did you offer to clients?
Like I told you, it was emailing campaign for B2B, especially for B2B. I also offered some B2C, and at this time it was very. I was able like to charge, like I charged a big client for 20,000 email highly targeted for his niche. I charged like $10,000, something I can't do right now. $10,000. It's crazy. When I think about it right now, I see it's crazy. But but emailing game, it was very good. First year was amazing. Second year, third year, fourth year, it started to get saturated. Many new little companies started offering things, and yeah, it became more and more and more competitive.
And
So
so
at a certain point, I stopped doing this emailing.
and so at what point did you say, all right, I've had enough with this and I want that freedom. I want to do internet marketing and sell things online.
This happened the year before last year. I came to Brazil. I didn't want to come back, but I had to come back because in my office, like I did all my best to have everything automated. They don't need me. They don't see me. Like I have some people who are working for me and they don't know me, who I am, because I just set some cameras and some stuff, and I go just to sign papers when they have paper to sign. I've never had this mindset of staying in an office and working and 9 to 5, and I love freedom a lot. And first it was a normal business. Then I said everything. I have a person who were in charge of the office and everything. But every time I was requested in the office, either to sign paperwork and stuff, either to see some clients, and every time I do this, I say this is not for me. It's not the way I want to live. I want to be just traveling around the world, going to Starbucks and working and enjoying my life. So I started working on that slowly since 2014, but 2015, I decided I shut down I came to Brazil. And when I came back from Brazil, I shut down the business and I focused only on internet marketing.
And
And
so, how
uh-huh.
long from when you started um, to really operate as a business? How
Well,
long before you started seeing results?
on internet marketing, I stayed like 3 months. I was only working like a crazy, like going to party once a month or something, and just working and learning a lot, learning more learning than working, and working on the mindset and everything. And the third month, I was able to make $10,000 per month, so it was fine. Then I decided to move.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, I was about to write a book, 10K in 90 days, but I didn't. Maybe I'll do it later. And because even right now I'm uh, uh, I don't know. I can make a book for more than that. As now my business is booming, especially e-commerce. So maybe it's gonna be a book about more what I do right now than what I did before.
That's incredible. So let's really give some value on this call. Let's really try to help people. So
Yeah, sure.
when you have somebody who either they're stuck in the system of formal education that they can't stand, or they're stuck in a job that they really have no future in, and they absolutely hate it, what would be your advice to
Oh,
them so that they could just start, they could get started?
Oh, my advice, you have a 9 to 5 job, you don't like it, you don't like people, you don't that you work with, or you don't like the boss, or you just want to have freedom. The best thing is keeping that job because you need money. You need money to live and to continue and prepare what you are going to make. Uh, because it doesn't happen overnight. So keep your job, but go start learning. You are going back home today. You spend 2 hours in the metro per day. These 2 hours, look for some courses. Download everything on your iPod. Instead of listening to music, listen to things and learn as you go home. Go and practice and try. And right now, you can. I know many people who start very successful businesses while having a 9 to 5 job, a normal job. Uh, in like 2 months, 3 months. 3 months is a lot. But it's very important to not quit the job that people have, because some people make this error. Oh, I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna focus on online marketing. It doesn't work like that. You have to keep your job. When you go back home, instead of grabbing a beer or something, you learn on the way while taking the bus or your car, or you lose a lot of time in traffic. This time, do some optimization, use it to learn new things. When you go home, implement the thing you are learning, and instead of keeping up with the Kardashian, you keep up with the work. For example, like 3 hours work per day, and the
Exactly.
weekend spend it working, and you're gonna make it work if you do it like that with persistence and dedication. And also, if you fail the first time, it's just a part of the process. You have to fail. People, everyone is failing every day. Even the most successful people you can see around, they are failing every day, because every day we are making the people, they are making decisions, and not all the decisions are the good ones, and sometimes you make decisions that bring you to a big failure. But it's the way it works, how it works. Then you learn, you gather information, and you keep moving.
Right, right. And I think what you said about don't grab a beer, I thought you were going to say don't grab a beer, grab a book, or something like that. But
Yeah, yeah, but grab a book. Or for me personally, I really rarely read books. I can't like sit in a place and take a book and start. So better like you're having a walk, put an audio book, and so you optimize your time. You're doing your sport and learning. You are cooking and learning. You are going to your job and learning. It's time optimization. And then after that time, instead of taking the book, you go and you implement and you test the things. This is for people who are working 8 hours a day or something, so they get most of their time. Better organization. That's just my way to see the things.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Yeah.
so, you know, you've talked a lot about, you know, you like your freedom and you don't want to be in a desk behind, you know, a nine to
Mhm.
five. Um, and, you know, I really think at the end of the day that comes to your why, you know, that comes to the motivation behind that. So could you maybe talk a little bit about your purpose and the reason why you know you've been putting so much effort and time into doing what you do?
Oh, I don't know. Freedom, maybe. This is my why. And the way I'm working right now, I'm way more productive, and I'm giving and delivering way more value than if I was just doing the. I'm doing what I love, and I think that's my why. When you wake up in the morning and you love what you are doing, you are not seeing that like a job. Like I'm doing some one-on-one coaching, and you check with the people, you see them moving their business forward. I have e-commerce shop. I'm selling cool stuff, and people are loving, and you get nice reviews and stuff. This is my why. Like you are creating value, and you are also, I don't know, you are, yeah, creating value and at the same time having freedom. It's a win-win situation. Everyone is happy.
Right.
People are dealing with and yourself both are happy. It's happiness on both sides. Not like when you are in an office and working with a client and you he send you an email, he's not happy about something, and the corporate life.
Right. So what I think that you said about helping people is really important. You know, if you're not
Yeah.
providing value to others,
Yeah.
how can you expect to get paid anything? I mean, if you're not adding value, and value is monetarily measured, how can you expect to
The
you know
more money you want to make, the more people you have to impact. The more impact you have to make in more people. Like you want to make one $1 million, go and impact 1 million person in a positive way. Is the way it works.
absolutely.
So you extend your business the way you want. Because if you reach 100,000 people, you impact those people, you're gonna get it back in dollars. Everyone is happy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, if some people, you know, they might be struggling a little bit, you know, they went to YouTube and they listened to all that free stuff and they've been reading
Mhm.
books and they just can't quite get it. They can come to you for some coaching, right? Can you maybe give some insight on your coaching?
Yeah, sure, sure. In case somebody, especially if it's somebody who wanna jump into Shopify business, e-commerce, or anything related to online business in general, he can get in touch with me via Facebook, maybe. I don't know if you have where to share my contact, or I say it, Adil Mafhoum. Maf,
Yeah, just
Adil,
maybe
Adil Maf.
give some names in some places, and I'll put the links in the
Yeah.
description.
Yeah, so just people can send me one message and we work on that, or an email. I will give you my email. You can add it to. Yeah,
Absolutely. So, you know, Adil, I do want to thank you very much for your time today and for giving such insight and
you're
such value.
welcome. Thank you for having me in your show, and yeah, I hope the listener are gonna get some value from that and keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. But I do have one more question before you
Uh-huh.
go.
Yeah.
Is there any part of you that you think is an important part of who you are that I did not ask you about today? In other words, what did I miss?
A part of me that uh, I don't know if I've got the the question. Apart from my personality or from my past, or
Anything. And is there anything that you think is an important part of about you, or is it has some importance in your past that we just didn't talk about in the interview today?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I never quite like whatever happened. I never quite. No matter how hard I get hit, I don't quite, and I learn. I keep moving. Like I remember in I don't know if this is an answer for your question, but like like back in April. I had some issues in my business, and I was in a very small city here in Brazil where I know no one, and my bank account was minus $2,000 and something, and I had to fix it. And if I was a quitter, like I would say, you know what, everything is getting hard. I will go back home and I will try to find a job or start a new business slowly. And but no, no matter what happened, you keep moving and you keep learning and trying to everything like this happened to me. I took it as a lesson and I learned a lot. Recently, I have just recently, just last week, I've been one of my e-commerce stores start making good money and like averaging around $2,000 per day or something like that, and PayPal frozen my account to investigate it. Like somebody else gonna see that like, oh my god, my business is dead. Because I don't have a credit card processor or stuff. But even when this happened, I was looking for solution, and I spent like 1 week just looking for alternative solution because there is never only one option. Whatever the problem is, there is many options. The only limit is you and the way how you think. And I think this is a part of me that helped me a lot. Like whatever happened, I keep digging and looking for some solutions, no matter how hard it is, no matter because it's hard. It's not something very easy. Or I does this answer the question?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think the big takeaway from that is that you just don't quit and you just keep
Never.
going and you just persevere.
Yeah. No matter what happened, and everyone should keep going. Everything. You know, like Tony Robbins say, life doesn't happen for us. It's happen. No, I forgot what. It means life is not happening to make everything good for you or something. Life can be very hard sometimes, and you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep moving. That's the point.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, Adil, I do want to thank you again for coming on the interview and spending some time talking with me today and really helping to provide some value to the community. I really do appreciate that.
Oh, thanks to you for having me. Thanks for yeah.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, this has been another Project Egg interview. Today we've been talking with Adil Maf from Morocco. Adil, thank you again.
Thank you. Ciao.
All right, bye bye.